Hey ANPers, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is ANP1 Lecture Test 2 video, let me check, 9. So we're video 9, top of page 14, which is in fact the beginning of chapter 5. Da, 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 da. So this is our first organ system. It is the integumentary system. The integumentary system is your skin and hair and nails and glands. All right, let's see. Word list, review questions, make review cards, read, write, draw, label quiz, eat, sleep, and exercise. I always found when I was studying that once my brain cut out, like say I was writing something over, like as long as my brain was engaged, I'd keep on going. But once my brain cut out, my hand was moving and my brain wasn't. Time to shut it off, eat, sleep, exercise, and start again. The very least, stop, take a break, like set a timer for 15 minutes and go do something. Eat, literally, sleep, go outside and be in sunlight, something, anything. And then when your brain is engaged again, try again. If your brain is not involved, it doesn't matter what your hands are doing. Okay, so when you eat regularly, good nutritious food, sleep regularly, and exercise, your brain will work better. And this is a long semester as I'm recording this, so you have time. If you're watching this during a summer semester, you scratch that. 6 weeks is not time for anything. Excuse me. All right, so the integument is the largest system of the body. There are two parts. The cutaneous membrane has two parts, A, epidermis, B, dermis. And 2, the accessory structures. There are 3 types of accessory structures, including hair, nails, and glands. And nails includes both fingernails and toenails. And the hair, then when I say hair, that includes the hair and the hair follicle, which you've already studied about in lab. You have, haven't you? Go do that. I'm sure we've already taken the lab test by the time you watch this video. So, and yeah, is the hypodermis considered part of the integumentary system? No, but we're studying it with the integument. So, other names for the hypodermis include the subcutaneous layer and the superficial fascia. Okay, now we have the functions of the skin and hypodermis. Protection. You know, I don't have a pen going yet. Do we have like an orange? We do not. We do not have an orange. White won't show. Black's the same color. We're going cyan. Boom. Shaka laka laka. Yeah, I'm feeling the cyan. All right, so our first is protection, and this will be protection against impact, abrasion, fluid loss, and chemicals. So, like your hair on your head protects you from impact a little bit. Abrasion, and which is like scratching, like road rash is abrasion. And then fluid loss, your skin keeps the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. The good stuff is the fluid, the interstitial fluid and blood. And chemicals, it does protect you from many chemicals. Okay, excretion, and this will be the excretion of salts, water, and wastes. So mostly sweat, mostly. Temperature, maintains your body temperature. Your skin helps with insulation and evaporation. So if you've ever worked in a burn board where people have lost their skin, or the skin has been burnt off of their body, the burn board is kept very warm because without the skin to keep your temperature regulated, you get chilled very quickly. So melanin. Melanin is skin color, and that protects from UV radiation. Keratin protects from abrasion. Keratin is the difference between keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, which is your skin, and non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, which is your mucous membranes, like your side, your mouth. You know how they do a cheek swab and they get random just cells fall off? Yeah, stratified squamous epithelium, which we've discussed. Vitamin D3. Your skin makes vitamins in the presence of sunlight. Isn't that fun? So you actually do need a small amount of sunlight on a daily basis. So I'm not kidding when I say go out in the sun. Depending on your melanin levels, at noon, if I'm outside in the sun without serious amounts of sunblock on, I am burnt. So there is a limit, but everyone can get sun damage. So Texas outside at noon with no sunblock is a bad plan for everyone. All right. But the vitamin D3 makes, it's called calcitriol. You make calcitriol. Anyway, it helps with calcium ion homeostasis. So let's get those terms written down. Calcium ion homeostasis. It's important to regulate the blood calcium levels. And we'll talk more about that this semester and next. Stores lipids. Yeah, it's mostly the hypodermis. And detection of sensory information, sensation, touch, pressure, pain, temperature, vibration. We'll talk about that again next semester when we do the general and special senses. And then I have another one down here, and it's immune. I apologize for writing with my mouse. I know it's terrible. I have a little thingy and it's equally terrible. So my husband has one of those fancy iPads with the iPens because he's an artist, and I think that would be better, but my handwriting would still be my handwriting. So there's that. So your skin helps coordinate the immune response, which we're not going to talk about much. Okay, audible page flip noises. We are on page 15 now, or if yours printed out differently, 5.1, epidermis is a protective covering composed of layers. So that's what we're looking at. Keratinocytes. All right, keratinocytes are the cells of the epidermis and have the protein keratin. So keratin is the protein, and cyte means cell. And in science, you take two roots, you put an O, and you smush them, and boom, new word. So they're cells with keratin. They're keratinocytes, obviously. Okay. Now, there are 4 layers of keratinocytes in thin skin. And there are 5 layers of keratinocytes in thick skin. Locations of thin skin, thick skin. It covers the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Thin skin is everywhere else. Thin skin covers the majority of the body. Thick skin, palms of the hand, and soles of the feet, which we will talk about again. And the thick skin is different because it has a 5th layer, specifically this one, the stratum lucidum, which is this kind of clear layer right here under the stratum corneum. And look at the stratum corneum. It's way thicker. So let's go back. Here's the stratum corneum in thin skin. Here's the stratum corneum in thick skin. That's a monster amount of layers of skin. Okay. All right, so let's learn the layers of the skin. For lab, we learned the stratum corneum, we learned the stratum basale, and now for lecture, we're going to learn all of them. So first we have the stratum basale, which used to be called the stratum germinativum, which I don't think is typed in anymore, so I'm going to spell it for you. And it's germinative in that these are stem cells. So it's a single layer of cells, like literally just this bottom layer of cells here. I can't draw, and I'm drawing with a mouse, so it's going to be terrible anyway. Germinative. Okay, also called the stratum germinativum, stratum basale, stratum germinativum, same difference. And it is the deepest layer of the skin. And this is the layer of basal cells, which means stem cells. So they're mitotic cells. They undergo mitosis over and over again. And they divide continually. And this is also where you will find the melanocytes that we haven't quite learned about yet, have we? Okay, well, this is where you find them actually between the basement membrane and the stratum basale. All right, next we have the stratum spinosum. And the spiny here means spiny layer. And stratum means layer. So this is base layer, spiny layer. And it's superficial to the stratum basale. The stratum spinosum contains cells that participate in the immune response. So we're not really covering that much except to say that it happens in the stratum spinosum, which is good because in the next cell, the next layer, we're going to develop the keratin that kills the cells. So if you're going to be involved in the immune response, it needs to happen before the cells die. Makes sense. The stratum granulosum, that just means grainy. So this is the grainy layer. It is superficial to the stratum spinosum. Cells begin producing the proteins keratin and keratohyalin. I'm not seeing keratohyalin on here. H-Y-A-L-I-N-E. Yeah, H-Y-A-L-I-N. H-Y-A. It doesn't look like an A. No, it sort of looks like an A. Okay, so keratin and keratohyalin. And that's what makes them keratinocytes. And the keratin and the keratohyalin kill the cells. The stratum lucidum is our bonus layer that's in thick skin only. And it is kind of see-through. It's lucid, which means clear. So this is the clear layer. And it is only found in thick skin. You got it. Not found in thin skin. Boom. And the stratum corneum is the most, here's the surface, so it's the most superficial layer. And cornu means horn. Like a cornucopia is the horn of plenty. You see it at Thanksgiving with like pumpkins and apples falling out of it. That's the horn of plenty, the cornucopia. And cornu means horn. So the skin that you can see is literally in Latin called the horny layer. It is thicker than, like, your mucous membranes are very thin, and these are horn in comparison. They're hard, tough. And they keep the liquids in. All right, interesting facts about the stratum corneum. I have a few things written down. 15 to 30 layers. Takes 7 to 10 days for the cells to go from the basale to the corneum, and then they're in the corneum for a couple of weeks. Insensible perspiration, you actually, like sweat is your sensible perspiration, and insensible perspiration is the moisture that just diffuses out of your skin. So if you're like in the desert, you're losing moisture. Now we live in Texas, so we're like gaining moisture. It is so hot and so humid right now. It's not about whether or not you can breathe with a mask. It's that if you don't have air conditioning, you can't breathe because it's like soup out there. Let's see, wrinkling. So when you're in water, it's the blood vessels constrict, and that's what they think makes the wrinkles when you're in the tub too long or the pool. Fingerprints are the ridge patterns of the dermal papilla. So even identical twins have different fingerprints. And your skin is water resistant, not waterproof. Interesting distinction. All right, let's finish this page and then we will call it a video. The epidermal growth factor makes the basal cells divide, and the basal cells are the stem cells, so it causes stem cell division in the skin. It increases the production of keratin, increases repair, increases secretion. And then a tissue culture is when the cells are grown in the lab for experiments. And these two terms are new to the new book. So if you don't have the newest version of the book, make sure you get these written down because they're not in the book. So you can grow a sheet of epidermal cells for burn patients from a smaller sample, which is nice because we used to have to like scrape skin off of people to cover burns, and now we can scrape a little and grow it. So super handy. All right, so this has been ANP 1, lecture test 2, video. I don't remember, but I know we did pages 14 and 15. And we started chapter 5 and 15. So this was video 9. Thank you as always for tuning in. It's good to virtually see you here. The education must go on. Kind of a threat. Yeah, we're still going. Dr. J out.